are back. It's been a while since we had a Changing Stage show. My name's Florentino Buenaventura. I am the CEO of EnterTalk and also the host of the Changing Stage show. And we are talking to John Beasley today, who is an amazing, incredible, iconic jazz player. I can throw in a bunch of other adjectives in front of that. But with that said, John, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you, Florentino.
Good to see you. Ironically, I'm not watching you. I'm looking at a camera right now. So, yeah, but it's all good. I will see it in post. Thanks, John. I know that you were super busy. You're about ready to go on tour to Germany. And then I think you're going to do something in Portugal, possibly. And I really appreciate you taking some time because you're leaving tomorrow. Is that correct?
That's right, man. I'm getting out of here.
Getting out of here. Going to go see what the rest of the world looks like. So tell me a little bit about this tour. Let's kind of talk a little bit about that. What are the people in Germany going to expect from John?
Well, this is a project that has been canceled several times over the past. This is a project that's been postponed, I think 3 times because of COVID.
Yeah.
This year, Charlie Parker, great saxophonist, was born in August. This is his centennial year. Yeah. So we had gigs booked at the Hollywood Bowl, back east, a bunch of things. Irvine Meadows, right? Not Irvine Meadows, but University of Cal State University, Irvine. Some gigs in Virginia, and we were supposed to record a record in Germany with a radio orchestra there, the Stuttgart Radio, SWR.
Wow,
which is a great band. And so we had all the charts ready. We were doing it. And then, May came around and they weren't ready. Well, end of June came around, end of July. So finally, we're going to go back and do this, record the record, make a video, and then 3 gigs in Europe. There's still a lot of time. I have some downtime there. In fact, we're going 5 days earlier because Germany is starting quarantining on the 15th. So we changed our flights to land on the 14th so we don't have to quarantine. We just had a test today because you have to get a test 48 hours before you land.
I believe, yeah.
It's been crazy, but looks like we're, less things to change. This is COVID, so things change fast. We'll be in Germany and making this record and videos and a few concerts, and hopefully go to Portugal if they're still open in December to work with Rui Velasco, who's a great Portuguese rock star, basically.
Yeah. It sounds exciting, but also crazy, like you're saying with COVID. I know that they've wrangled things in a bit more, at least what you hear on the news, that it's wrangled in a little bit more in Germany. So that should be comforting. But, you never know. Like you said, this is a dynamic time. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to get a conversation with you, because it's just weird. It's weird with everything that goes on. It changes from day to day. And, have you even played with anybody since COVID started? Have you had any gigs or like live stream concerts?
Yeah, I've done a couple. I think it was in April. We did International Jazz Day, and I did a solo concert here.
From the house?
From the house, from my studio here, that was streamed to the Tokyo Blue Note and streamed all over Japan. But that was my first time playing solo, doing a stream, and it was so weird not feeling an audience, not having any kind of back and forth. I felt kind of cold afterwards. So I've done a couple of those. But lately, I did a gig at the World Stage here with Dwight Tribble. It was like a stream concert to bring voting awareness.
Okay.
And I think they've done one a week since then. And that was the first time I'd played with the band. And we were all laughing because we were all rusty, Yeah. And, we've been shedding on our own, but, there's another muscle reacting in time and playing with musicians, especially when you're improvising, right?
Yeah. No,
so we were all laughing about that. And then I did an episode of Bosch recently.
Yeah, yeah. Lorna
because they
was telling me
started
about that.
filming again. They started filming again. So that was interesting. You know, their film crew, must have been 100 people there, gets tested every day. So for us, we got tested twice the week before, and then the day of the gig. So I did that, and then after that, we rehearsed for this Azar Lawrence, um, Pharoah Sanders concerts. It's going to be streamed from Zebulon on the 13th, which is Pharaoh's birthday,
Oh, wow.
and that's 7 o'clock anywhere in the world. If you Google Zebulon live stream Pharoah Sanders, another time around the sun or something like that, celebrating Pharoah Sanders' 80th, you'll be able to find that. So that was interesting, you know. And then we did a record. I did a record date last week, 2 days in the studio.
Live
and again, getting tested.
Live with other
Yeah,
musicians?
yeah, with
Okay.
tracking, you know. It was only 4 of us, but, you know, wearing that mask all day, man, I could really feel people that, you know, essential workers basically that are wearing a mask all day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, man,
I made
me feel
really
for them.
fast. Yeah. I get heated really fast. I imagine it's the same report everyone else has been telling me. And it's rough. You know, we've been doing some of these productions here as well, as I mentioned off camera. And for those who are tuning in, we started and opened a new live streaming venue, and we've been doing concerts at a couple of the local clubs. But, you know, those were like every bi-weekly. Now we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis. But we keep it all core with people. But when, you know, we're all wearing masks, and it's tough,
Yeah.
you know, and that's only for like 4 to 6 hours. I can imagine doing it, you know, when you're doing these 8 to 10 hour day shifts as a, you know, in the medical field, or if you're, you know, even, you know, working at a working
in a grocery store, you know, anything like that, post office. Yeah.
I think the person who invents the technology for the mask that has the least heat should get a Nobel Prize. I don't know, something, but you know, it's a crazy time, man. So what are your thoughts, man? A lot of people, there's a lot of upheaval in the industry. You know, I've seen a lot of friends saying, just forget it. I'm just not going to do it anymore. Just, you know, I made my money touring. I can't play and do gigs. I'm not, you know, we're not getting the kind of support that you know, that really can help, you know, the venues or the artists. What's your thoughts right now on the direction of everything? I mean, that's a big, broad question.
Politically, or well, the politics is what's politics is what's affecting the situation.
Yeah, it
that's
definitely
my feeling.
It definitely is. I guess more responsive, like under the circumstances with COVID, the lockdowns. You're starting to play more. You know, where do you see this going? And obviously, there is some tie into politics. We try not to be political in one way or another here. You know, we always have our views, but we're unbiased and open media network. But with that said, I mean, you know, tell me your thoughts, man.
Well, my view is that we never did the hard work that Europe and Asia did. They had a normal summer.
Yeah.
You know, I'm able to go to Germany because they put the hard work in the spring, and yeah, their numbers are rising, but it's nothing like us.
Yeah.
They also have subsidized venues, and they subsidize music over there. It means more to their culture than it does than we do. We love it, but we're not prepared to pay as much for a download as we are for a Starbucks. So that tells you a lot right there.
Yeah, for sure. I think that is definitely a challenge.
But I think the future is that we're going to have to do the hard work to get back. People are going to have to do the right thing and pay attention to science.
Yeah.
And not put your head, in the ground and do the hard work, and then we can come back.
Yeah.
And I think, during the Spanish flu of 1917 and 18, I believe, was the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
Maybe went in the 19. Catastrophic, right? But it did usher in the 20s, the roaring 20s and the jazz age. I'm not saying it's going to be jazz music. I'm just saying that people are going to go crazy when this is over, and they're going to want to go out, and they're going to want to party. And I think the music business the touring business especially, will be crazy good when this is over.
I think so too. And I think things like what you were talking about, where you're streaming to the Blue Note, and what we're banking on, that the live streaming piece really kind of helps to enhance it. I don't see live streaming concerts taking over the industry as the only way, but I do see that being an enhancement, because there's things that, especially like jazz players and more niche players, they have fans all over the world. We're talking about the ones that are worldwide known, but they don't necessarily have large fans in any one geographical area. But when you're able to tie all these people together and have these concerts online, and people from Indonesia, where there's a big jazz community, connects with the ones in Germany, that are all connecting to the ones here in the U.S. in New Orleans. Now we're building something and giving them an intimate connection. So I think that's going to be part of this experience, and hopefully, that's a way for people to build on their music love. It's much like when the internet broke out. I mean, I remember back in the 80s and 90s, I would go overseas, and it was a thing for artists to launch 6 months later in another country, and those people in that country never heard of that artist. Now everybody gets it all at once. So it's definitely
technology has made it so that everybody can have a television studio in their homes, which is great, or a nice one like you have. It's a higher quality. But we have to figure out how to monetize it.
Yeah, that's
because we can't Napster ourselves this time around.
Yeah,
by giving it away for free and people expecting it to be free.
What do you think is going to be the monetizing element of this industry in the future? Because face it, monetizing the actual songs has become a challenge, and even without COVID or anything else, it is a tougher bid now. We're not seeing, with Spotify, and the royalty rates being a much lower royalty rate than, say, terrestrial radio, and terrestrial radio shrinking its catalog and portfolio of songs that it plays on a regular basis. It makes that tougher, and obviously people aren't buying CDs. Albums have risen in sales. In fact, they've surpassed CD sales for the first time in decades. But where do you think the revenue for artists are going to come from at this point?
Well, the reason why you have all these legacy bands touring now, Steely Dan, Grateful Dead is still out there, on and on and on, Graham's, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and people touring all the time now. That's how we make our living.
Yeah.
So we have to get back to that, because I don't know if you can ever go back to people actually paying for music online or, at a store. You can sell some CDs and records at gigs, but that's a gig, and you have to have a gig to get there.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have to get paid to get there. So I think, man, Quincy Jones has been for years advocating for a minister of culture in our country. Every industrialized, how do you say those kind of countries? The EU, Europe, Japan, probably China, every country like that, Australia, they have ministers of culture to help people, be educated about what a ballet is, how to look at a painting, what a symphony orchestra is, what a jazz band is, what a great pop song is. They have these institutions set up, and I think that would help. I think Quincy's totally spot on with that, and I would nominate him first.
Yeah, definitely. He would definitely know, and he's a visionary, for to say the least. His new network, his jazz network, I love it. I think that he's bringing the real music back. Not that other music isn't real, but if from the pinnacle of technical virtuosity, jazz music is it, in my opinion, at least. I mean, obviously classical and jazz are right there when it comes down to the expression of the art form. So, you know, and Quincy's on the forefront of that. So I 100% agree with that. Now, we came from a time when sponsorship, alignment with corporate brands was not looked and favored upon. Do you think that's another way? One of the things that we've looked at and explored for artists, helping artists to find ways for revenue, is what our, you know, the sports folks have looked at, where they get endorsements, they get sponsorships. We're seeing a little bit of that now, you know, like Travis Scott got his first Big Mac meal or McDonald's meal, I should say. What do you think about that with the art, especially the purist in the jazz world? Sometimes there's pushback that there shouldn't be commercialization with the art form. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, music festivals all over the world have been sponsored by cigarette companies, booze companies, car companies for years. So, you know, personally, I wouldn't do cigarettes, but
that's not your
a nice tequila, I wouldn't mind. You know, I wouldn't mind having a tequila endorsement.
I can hear that now. You know, there's you know, the John Beasley tequila. You know, get your groove on. So, you know, that would be cool. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think there's a lot of changes that are coming in the industry, and I think that artists like yourself are going to be approached more regularly by corporations that want to have a voice to your community and want to be able to connect with your people from a very emotive side, which is what music is all about. And I think that's the power of music. So, you know, that hopefully will come down the pipeline. Now, I'm going to transition to a couple of really cool things that are happening with you. You're up for a few Grammys. Am I not correct?
No, it's still, they're on the ballot. This is the first round of voting to be nominated. If you, it just means you're on the ballot. That's all. So, you know, we're letting people know, you know, we're on the ballot to find us. And now the voting's so great that, you know, you can actually listen while you vote right on the same website. Wow. So they make it really easy for you. And so, yeah, we're on the ballot, maybe. But oh, yeah, and you're right. But we did receive a Latin Grammy nomination because they're a little earlier. So that's a real nomination. And so we made it into the top 5 for best arrangement for a vocal.
Now, which out of the projects that you do, because I know you have a few, which project was that one?
That's Maria Mendes, great singer from Portugal. Oh, it's all fado reimagined with the Metropole Orchestra. So it's orchestrated. She's a wonderful singer, and it's really quite beautiful record. It's very lush and, you know, romantic. Those songs, those fado songs, are all about fishermen, you know, and wives waiting for them, their families waiting for them to get back to sea. They're very soulful, tragic, sometimes kind of songs, you know, soulful.
Beautiful.
So that's the Latin Grammy. And then Monkeystra Plays John Beasley, my new record. We're up for Best Large Ensemble. We're not up for it, but we're on the ballot for Best Large Ensemble, Best Jazz Solo, arrangement for Come Sunday, vocal arrangement, and then an instrumental arrangement for a Charlie Parker tune, actually, that we're going to re-record in Germany, Donna Lee.
Wow.
I think Producer of the Year for Maria's record. A couple spots.
You got a few that are potentially coming down the line here. I hope you win them all, brother, because you definitely deserve that.
Oh, man, that would be awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I'm there. I'm rooting in your camp there, man. And you've got such a variety of flavors. I mean, for Monkeystra, we're used to hearing monk. You know, that was what what I heard last time you guys were in town here in San Diego. But you're doing your tunes. You're imagining them in the form of the band that you created. So that's going to be awesome. And hopefully we get opened up here a bit more in the future, so you can come back down and do a show by the Bay. I love that. That was just the best concert ever.
That was a great place to play.
Yeah. You had Joshua White.
I've been playing down in San Diego since I was a kid, man. You guys got a great. You've always had a nice jazz scene down there. You had Hilario's all those years. Yeah. What's the hotel? The Grand Hotel downtown. Yep. All those coffee shops with Peter Sprigg and stuff.
Yeah, we have Humphreys.
It's nice. Humphreys.
And we did in our concert series. We had Gilbert Castellanos and the young cat that we did a tribute to Charlie and with a guy named Charlie Arbeles, who did a concert. So we're doing a lot in from our world. We have a passion for jazz, so we're trying to drive that as well. And hopefully at one of these points we get you down here and do a little something on these this baby grand that I have behind me here as part of this concert series here. So as we close out, I want to get your final thoughts, brother, on what would you like to share with people that are tuning in right now, video or in the podcast form, in the audio? What do you want them to know about where you were going, where Monkestra's going, and all the projects that are going? Share us your final thoughts.
Well, Monkestra Plays John Beasley is our newest record, and it was released the last week of August, which is sort of a hard time to release a record with COVID. Yeah. And because of COVID, everybody was waiting to release records, and they all came out at the same time. And of course, we had gigs to promote the record. So what we're doing is doing stuff like this to promote the record, and some live streams and finding new ways. That we have to be flexible and inventive during these times. So we're looking for ways to keep the music flowing.
Yeah. Got to get outside.
My daughter works for UMG, and their statistics show that because people are working from home, they're actually listening to more music during the day, all day long while they work, because they're not in an office situation or whatever. Yeah, and so streaming music has gone way up, and in particular, jazz and classical music, oddly enough. I think because, maybe you have your kids at home, you're working, you don't want to listen to any head-banging stuff right now because, you're trying to keep it cool, right?
Yeah.
So, the future, we're going to be okay if we can hold on. And, if these venues can hold on for us just a little bit longer, and we have the political will to do what's necessary to get us back to where we're strong and not infecting each other at the same time, where we can all groove together, be together. That's what we want, right? Yeah. Without the mask.
I think you hit the nail on the head, brother, where if we explore other options, not try to stick to what we knew worked before, but to discover new ways, kind of be like Star Trek, go out and, venture the cosmos for the next 3 to 5 years and figure out, what's out there where music can grow to. Because there's been seasons where that's happened. Obviously when the vinyl record, or the cylinder actually at the time, was created, that changed the whole world of music. Synthesizer came in sometime around the 70s and kind of became a big part of the 80s, and drum machines, that changed the world. So there's a lot of things and a lot of growth that, I'm excited about. I think that it provides.
Even on another level, though, you're talking about, music technology, but politically things like I mentioned, the Roaring '20s was after the flu epidemic.
Yeah.
World War II. During World War II, bebop was made.
Yeah.
And contemporary art. And after World War II, man, people partied like crazy and had all kinds of babies, It's like
baby boomer.
And then in the 60s, protest music became popular music.
Yeah. I agree.
Vietnam era. Then like you say, synthesizers, the CD, FM radio. That was another cultural boom. So yeah, we're ready for another cultural revolution here.
Well, you've always been an
and
innovator.
Music needs to go right along with it.
Yeah, you've always been an innovator. So I look forward to more of that innovation. I wish you a successful tour overseas in Europe and Germany and Portugal. I look forward to you coming back and catching up soon, and maybe seeing how we can all work together to make this a better industry. So I thank you very much for joining us today.
All right, man. It's really good to see you. I hope you're doing well. To stay safe and yeah, keep the faith, man. Let's keep on keeping on.
Let's keep on keeping on, brother. Well, hey, thank you very much. This has been the Changing Stage Show, the music industry big picture with John Beasley. The man is amazing. Make sure you tune in, and if you're a voting member, we'll have some links on the post here. Voting a Grammy voting member, go check it out. If you like it, vote for him, because he's definitely an innovator, and he's a champion of the music cause. So thank you again, folks. We'll check you out next time.